What do you paint when your life feels like a series of emotional earthquakes? When love turns into fear, when death becomes familiar, and when every sunset looks like a warning? For Edvard Munch, art was a way to record those states. The Frieze of Life became his most complete effort to capture the emotional and psychological shifts that define human experience. It was a collection he developed across many years with recurring themes and evolving forms. Before we move on, take a moment to subscribe so you don't miss out on future art videos. He once wrote, "No longer shall I paint interiors with men reading and women knitting. I will paint living people who breathe and feel and suffer and love." That shift began in 1890, during a period of illness and hallucinations, when he was living in Saint-Cloud in France. The experience led him to focus on the emotional life of his subjects, rather than their external surroundings. The Frieze of Life emerged from that focus. It was not planned as a fixed series from the beginning, but took shape gradually. By 1902, Munch presented the works under this title in Berlin. He described the cycle as a visual poem about life, love, and death, and grouped the pieces under 4 themes: the seeds of love, the flowering and passing of love, anxiety, and death. Before we continue, let me tell you about something that will help you discuss art with real confidence. Leap Art's free art guide gives you simple, effective tools to break down artwork and express your thoughts with ease and confidence. Link is in the description. In the early works, grouped as the Seeds of Love, Munch focused on longing and attachment. In The Kiss, 2 figures merge into one in a shadowed room. Their features blend. Individual identity gives way to physical closeness. The painting is intimate, but the loss of form introduces tension. It is closeness without clear boundaries. In The Flowering and Passing of Love, emotional conflict takes over. Ashes shows a man sitting with his head lowered, while a woman stands beside him, expressionless. The surrounding colors, red, gray, and black, give the scene a feeling of heat and collapse. Munch presents the aftermath of a moment without defining its cause. The emotional distance between the figures is unmistakable. Madonna continues this shift in tone. A woman appears with closed eyes and a tilted head. The frame is surrounded by symbolic imagery, including sperm cells and a fetus. The calm pose contrasts with the tension created by the added details. The painting brings together themes of sensuality, birth, and unease. In the section labeled Anxiety, the emotional pressure increases. In Anxiety, a crowd moves towards the viewer. Their faces are pale. Their expressions are rigid. Behind them, the sky is red and heavy. They appear together, but each one is emotionally cut off. The environment feels hostile. These are people in a shared space, but not in shared connection. At the center of this section stands the scream. The image is known worldwide, but its meaning is often misunderstood. Munch wrote about the event that inspired it. He described walking with friends as the sky turned blood red. He stopped, overwhelmed by a sense of dread, and felt what he called a scream passing through nature. In the painting, the figure does not scream. It reacts. The mouth is open, the hands cover the ears, the body appears weightless. 2 others walk in the background. The landscape bends unnaturally. The emotion is not located in one place. It spreads across the entire surface. The fear is internal, but also present in the surroundings. The final section, Death, returns to the artist's personal experiences. In Death in the Sick Room, a family sits around a dying child. That child is Munch's sister, who died of tuberculosis. Each figure faces away or sits in silence. Munch places himself in the room but turned to the side. The painting captures the quiet of private grief and the separation between people who are physically together but emotionally withdrawn. Munch repeated certain visual elements across the cycle. Faces reappear with minor changes. Gestures are used again. He made multiple versions of key works in painting and in print. This repetition was not accidental. It allowed him to refine emotional expression over time. The backgrounds also return. Bridges, shorelines, and red skies appear throughout. These settings are not descriptions of specific places. They serve to create mood and psychological pressure. Munch often used hair as a symbolic device, wrapping or connecting figures, suggesting emotional ties that could both bind and suffocate. His personal history shaped every part of this cycle. Munch lost his mother when he was 5 years old. His sister died when he was 14. His father struggled with religious and emotional extremes. Munch himself experienced long periods of anxiety and illness. He did not separate these events from his artistic work. They formed its foundation. When the Frieze of Life was first exhibited in Berlin, the response was divided. Some praised the focus on emotional experience. Others rejected the paintings as too personal or unstable. Munch did not change direction. He believed the artist's role was to express inner truth regardless of public opinion. Today, the Frieze of Life still communicates. The themes remain direct. Munch addressed loss, longing, isolation, fear, and memory. He did not provide resolution or relief. He created a structure to reflect emotional conditions that are often difficult to explain. His style, elongated figures, distorted spaces, and sharp color was shaped by what he wanted to express. These choices were part of his effort to make emotional life visible. The Frieze of Life was a system he returned to repeatedly, across media and decades. It is not a closed narrative. It is a cycle that circles through the patterns of attachment, fear, and loss. Munch used it to show how deeply experience leaves its mark, and how often people return to the same places in thought. If you enjoy discovering artists and fascinating art stories, you should subscribe, because more art discoveries are on the way that you don't want to miss. Thank you for watching.